Welcome. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Solopreneur Success Strategies. This is Jane Gardner, and we're on Get Your Message Out Tuesday, which is all about you and your brand. So before we talk about that, let me just say again who I am. I'm Jane Gardner, and I work with my husband in our structural engineering firm for the last 20 years, home-based, of course, in Western Canada, and I'm out here on the internet to help others start their own business as well. So welcome. I have started Solopreneur Success Strategies. It's a weekly show, 7 days a week with Mindset Monday. Tuesday today is about your brand and everything involved with that. Wednesday is about your customer. Thursday is about your skills and knowledge you need as a solopreneur. Friday is about free software and tools that save you money in your business. Saturday is Systems Saturday, where we talk about systems to help you free up your time in your business. And strategy is Sunday. So it's a busy week, so let's get started. So this is Tuesday, your brand. And let me remind you, let me get started here with Get Your Message Out Tuesday. And we have an offer at the moment to build your own brand in a week. Go to jgtips.com/brand and have a look at the offer there. I give you emails and trainings and worksheets and assist you for the month to build your own brand with a few webinars. And we can find out what your unique benefits are and how you differentiate yourself from your competitors. And we can even try naming your product if you haven't done that and develop some brand messaging for you. Because once you have your messaging, you can attract your ideal customers. Now, there are 3.4 billion people now on the internet, and you should be able to attract customers. Knowing how to do your messaging and doing your social media, etc., as well as all the other things you need to do, networking, etc., you can get your customers out there on the internet if you have the right messaging. So for Get Your Message Out Tuesday, we have a 4-week training we've already done on you and your brand. You're welcome to go to Solopreneur Success Strategies channel at Jane Gardner at YouTube, which is jgtips.com/YouTube, and go back and have a look at some of those episodes on developing your brand. And now we're on to you and your website. And I think we have one more left. So this is the 5th week. We looked at some of the pages you need on your website and what they should be doing for your messaging. And then we'll be looking at social media and you. Which one should you use? And we'll have a detailed look at the various ones and how to brand them to be unique and to be you. So a brand is your promise, your commitment, and what you stand for and stand against in your business. It's all about your messaging. Your messaging has to be consistent, accepted by your customer. So, of course, it attracts your customer, and it has to have a unique edge to differentiate it from your competitors. So we talked about in the first 4 weeks about developing your brand, and now we're talking about the website and how you can develop your website to reflect your brand and have the messaging you want to attract your customers. So your brand strategy is to be consistent in your messages, be unique from your competitors, and of course customers have to be attracted by your messaging. So of course you have to know who your customers are, so you have to do some customer research. And so far we've looked at your website messaging, and we've looked at your homepage is critical. Your About Us page is critical, and the Start Here page is critical to have the brand messaging on it in order to attract potential customers and prospects into your website to explore. So we looked at those 3, and today we're going to be looking at your blog. So most people would think, oh, your website is your blog, but it's not. The more important ones are, of course, the homepage, your About Us, and your Start Here page, which we discussed previous episodes. So go back and have a look at that at my YouTube channel and subscribe, and you'll continue on with the others. So your blog provides the content that will engage and get your visitors to read more and stay more on your website. So it also should be messages that build your reputation for expertise. So whatever type of business you're in, you should have relevant blog posts about that subject. As well, regular posting of your blog post will bring more traffic to your site, as well as it will reflect good on the search engine optimizations out there, and because you'll be considered a lively site, etc. So what you want to do is to have your most recent and have archive posts, and you need to have a repository for all of your knowledge and expertise, or just some of it, of course, and just continue on doing it on a daily, weekly, or bi-weekly basis, adding blog posts onto your website to show that you are a live website. And it also, of course, increases the knowledge that's on your website, so people will hang around and find various bits of information from you. So it allows your site to grow and become healthy in terms of your SEO. It establishes yourself as a thought leader through content. Always remember that the content that you're providing on your website should include your brand messaging in terms of what your promise is and your commitment, and also what you believe in and your values, and how you differentiate yourself from your competitors. So you should always be talking about things that might be different from your competitors, controversial from your competitors, and just show that you are an expert in your field by providing content. And you can also use the content. You can also do content curation, where you take various articles throughout the internet and then comment on them as an expert too. So you don't have to always write every single post yourself. And of course, there's search engine optimization benefits by having a lot of blog posts on your website. There'll be more search engine looking for the keywords that are in your blog, so that you'll be easier to find and search when people use keywords where they're looking for certain information. And also, of course, you can use it as part of your backlinking strategy. This is another SEO thing, in that the search engines like to see websites that have links within the website to other areas of the website, just to show that it's an active and dynamic website and not a dead one. And of course, it's important to always have a call to action on each post. And you have to create categories for your posts, so that when people are searching for a certain subject, they can find it by category if they wish. You can write about the topics your customer wants to hear about. This is the critical one, is to write about what they want to hear about, what your prospects are looking for, what solutions they're looking for their problems, or for their what they want to fulfill their desire with. And you have to remember that your brand is equal to your messaging, which should be equal to your post topics and discussions on your blog, because this will attract your ideal customers as well as ideal prospects who will recognize you as a thought leader. So incorporate relevant keywords that your possible customer will be searching for. Use your keywords in your titles and your headers, and write small paragraphs with headers and subheadings to make it easy for people to skim. But of course, always have value within each blog post, and always have a call to action, because you always want to have a reason for each post to an action that you want your customer to do. So you always want to make sure that you have a call to action in the blog post, whether it's to get your customer to subscribe to your list so they can find out about your other products, and whether it's to download information on your other products, or any other kind of actions you want them to do. You should always have an action, a reason for the blog post. And the reason should be a call to be for a call to action for what you want the customer possible to do. Prospect, they call it. So this is very simple, though I made it complicated. Basically, your blog should be a place to show your expertise, to have keywords and search engine optimization that the internet likes as well, but it should be messages that reflect what your prospect or customer wants to hear about and also wants a solution to. And each blog post should always be a reason for it, and there should always have a call to action for some kind of action by the prospect or customer so that they feel that there is some reason for the blog post and they may take that action. So here's a couple of samples of websites. I didn't put mine in today, but here's a very simple one, which is basically got all its blog posts according to category, I think. Can't read it. And then you just click on each face to go and have a look at that blog post. So it's very simple, easy to get into. And then, of course, we're looking at something like Mashable, which is quite overwhelming for me anyway, in terms of the information. But they keep it fairly simple with what's current on the left and then maybe some interesting posts that everybody wants to read on the right. So they know who their customers are and prospects, so they want them to stay and listen to or read the various blog posts. So that gives you an idea on the blog post that you need to have. So you need to have your brand be reflected on your blog, and you have to think about what your potential customer wants to read about on your blog and what is the reason for you to have the blog. Do you need to be seen as a thought leader? Do you need to have content in order to be seen in the search engines and be searched for with keywords? Or do you want this to be an informative place for the customer as well? So it's all about your customer. You have to think about your customer first and then decide whether it is important for you to have a blog or not. And your brand equals your messaging. Your post should speak to your messaging, and so then your customers will stay and read your posts. And of course, to opt in for your call to action. So you have to be the solution to their problem or be able to fulfill their desire, and then they will stay. So there we go. We'll have a few other pages to look at, but basically the home page, the Start Here page, the About Us page, and your blog are the most critical in terms of your brand because they reflect your messaging. They reflect who you are, who your business is, and then of course it's all about your customer and attracting them with your messaging to these various pages of your website. And there are other website pages, and we'll go over them briefly and how you can brand them as well. But just remember, it's your brand is equal to your messaging should speak to them. So as I mentioned before, I have the Build Your Own Brand Early Adopter offer. It's at jgtips.com/brand. As well, you can go to jgtips.com/GYMOT to see one of the shows on the Get Your Message Out Tuesday. But I actually are now putting the current show into the blog because, of course, that's on the homepage, and I want you to see my current shows. So you can contact me at jane-gardner@jane-gardner.com with any questions. And if you want to talk further about anything, so there's my call to action. And that's it for today for Get Your Message Out Tuesday, your website and your brand. You have at least 4 pages that are critical to your brand. And we'll have a look at some of the other pages and how you can adapt them to your brand as well next week. And then we'll be going on to social media. So, and you and your brand and messaging. So, see you next week. This is Jane Gardner at Solopreneur Success Strategies.